So I've been setting my intention every morning, and what I'm experiencing is a natural psychological, emotional resistance
to doing that.
To doing that. It's the default position.
Yes.
So I set my intention, and then I have to keep setting my intention as I experience the opening, closing down. But if I can keep it open, then my whole body floods with qi, which I realize now is an infinite supply.
Yes.
Here. And I feel it mostly as tingling in the yang meridians of my body.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing I really wanted to share today was the experience of recognizing the resistance,
mm-hmm.
and realizing that that has been my way of being in the world. And to drop that shield is scary, even though intellectually I understand. I have no reason to be afraid right now.
Intellectually you understand it, but your body
yes.
is set. What Annie is talking about is an unconscious, energetic position that all human beings take. And they don't even realize they're taking it. We don't even realize we're taking it. One of the things you can discover in Tai Chi and Qigong is that that's true. What it means is you're putting up a shield. You're putting up an energetic shield around your body. Yeah. And it's absolutely a survival mechanism. There's very good reasons to do that. The problem is not that you're doing it, but that it's unconscious. And when you have that shield up, it not only shields you against the bad things out there in the world, it also shields you against all the good things.
Well, I bring it up because I turned 76 a few days ago,
right.
Which means I have no natal energy available to me anymore. That I've used all that up. So where does my energy come from now? I have access to this infinite amount of energy through qi that exists.
It's all around you.
It's the thing I swim in. And so it's really important for me as a 76-year-old to understand that I have access and to cultivate that access. And I'm really feeling it today.
Yeah.
In the Danshin.
So this is a breakthrough that Annie had last week, where she realized that she was, without even realizing she was doing it, she was closing herself off from the world. And we all do that, but we don't all know it.
I prefer not to think of it as the world.
Well, the universe.
It's the universe.
Well, you do close. You close yourself off from existence as a self-protective measure. And there's, like I said, there's nothing wrong with that. You should be able to do that when you need to do that. The problem is when it's unconscious and it's constant all the time. And what happens then is you don't really have access to the qi of the universe, right? Every cubic centimeter has of quote unquote empty space has enough inherent energy in it to run the world for a year or two. And you don't have access to that because everything's closed off. So the reason that Qigong, which is essentially what we're doing this morning, the reason Qigong was invented was because in old China, they didn't have medical services. Oh yeah, the emperor had some, but the regular people didn't. So you had to take care of yourself. And one of the major thoughts that they had is your natal qi gets used up. And for most people, frankly, it's used up by about the time you're 25 or so. It's a little longer now because we take a little better care of ourselves. We eat a little better, etc. But it is going to get used up. The natal qi that your mother and father gave you will get used up. So now you have to supplement it. What do you supplement it with? Well, you supplement it with good food and rest and taking care of yourself and good relationships with other human beings and Qigong. Qigong was invented to supplement your natal qi and give you enough qi to keep on going until you're 100 years old, right? So what Annie was saying is she was feeling a real difference in her practice by just making the mental switch about being open. Oh, I'm actually closed. What if I just open? So that's actually the right thing to do, but it's not necessarily as easy as it sounds.
And one of the ways I experience it is my body heats up, and that's how the conversation started. Anyway.
Well, it's a little, as with everything else in Tai Chi and Qigong, it's counterintuitive. You would think when you open up that you would cool down.
You'd get cold.
You'd get cold because, it's, at least our studio is colder than my body. So you'd think, well, I would open up, all my heat would go out. Well, but in fact, it's just the opposite. What happens is your body warms up.
Qi flows in.
And the qi is flowing in because you're open. Now, Annie also said something about that it's not as easy as it sounds because it makes you feel vulnerable.
Yes.
Which, in fact, you are. It's allowing yourself to become vulnerable to the world, to become open. All right? And that is a more vulnerable position than to surround yourself with energetic armor. All right? So doing Qigong is a
practice in vulnerability.
It's a spiritual practice in vulnerability.
Well, the Grandmaster Fung said we practice our courage, to encourage our courage.
Grandmaster Fung, who developed our style of Tai Chi and Qigong, used to say, do you want to know why we do Tai Chi and Qigong? We do it to practice our courage. He didn't mean practice your courage in martial arts, although that's part of it. He meant to be open to the world, to truly be here now in the world, knowing that being here, some giant might step on you and squash you, right, in any moment. Right? And you think, well, that's a joke. No, it's not a joke. You're opening, ultimately what it means is you're opening yourself up to your own mortality. You are opening yourself up to the world and to being a mortal being in this world. And that is scary, and if it's not scary to you, you don't quite get it yet. Think about it a little bit.